El Salvador is smaller than the state of Massachusetts, has gone to war over a soccer game, hosted the World Surfing Championships on its beaches, and only has 2 weather seasons in the entire year. El Salvador is more interesting than people actually believe it to be. Over the past 4 weeks or so, I've researched El Salvador in books and the internet heavily, and I actually interviewed an international student here that goes here, and he actually lived in El Salvador pretty much all his life. Some brief info on El Salvador. It's the smallest and most densely populated country in Central America. There's over 5 million people that live there, and the country gained independence from Spain in 1821. The 3 most interesting parts of El Salvador to me are the geography, the culture, and the economy. Aside from El Salvador's culture and economy, I feel as if the geography of El Salvador is the most fascinating part of the entire country. The geography of El Salvador is most beautiful in the entire world. It has some of the best beaches, really cool lakes from remains of volcanoes, and that leads me into volcanoes. They have over 22 of them, which is pretty crazy. According to the international student I interviewed from El Salvador, Christian Edward, he said that El Salvador has many attractions. It has beautiful beaches, including one of the top 3 spots to surf in the entire world. Many international surfing championships actually go on there. And it has amazing lakes and volcano craters, volcano hiking, mountains to enjoy a peaceful weekend, and many preserved villages to experience a more traditional look of the Salvadorian culture. Beaches. According to the CIA World Factbook, there's over 300 kilometers of shoreline in El Salvador. To note on one of the beaches, Barra de Santiago, it's a beach that has a volcano pretty much right on the shore, and the shoreline is volcanic rock, and they actually have a sea turtle conservation on it, which is pretty cool, and you can like go and see the sea turtles, which is really cool, I thought. Next are lakes. Lake Lapongo and Cotopaxi are volcanic lakes. They're pretty much remains of volcanoes that are formed from volcanoes. Lapongo is over 27 miles long. Volcanoes. According to historyofElSalvador.org, El Salvador has over 22 different volcanoes, 6 which are active, and one, which is called Santa Ana, is over 7,000 feet tall. And you can it's actually like a National Geographic park where you can actually hike it. And Christian actually told me that he hiked it before, and you can look down into the center of it, which is really cool, I thought. Culture. Culture of El Salvador is pretty unique. They have a mestizo culture of people, and really unique cuisine, and different etiquette from which we practice here in the U.S. The mestizo culture dominates the El Salvador. The entire population practices it. According to the U.S. vs. El Salvador World Country Facts, Gonzalo Guerrero, which is right there, that's a statue of him, he was the first mestizo in El Salvador, and he was a shipwrecked Spanish sailor that landed on the country in the 16th century, which he was the first mestizo ever to land there. Food. They have some unique food to their culture. Well, on your left, you'll see the pupusa, which is a tortilla, cheese, beans, and pork. And on your right, you'll see the horchata, which is moro seed with milk and sugar. Both pretty good, apparently. Proper etiquette. According to Christian, when meeting with a female, it is automatic to give a mutual kiss on the cheek, a thing that in the U.S. is not particularly common, and he actually told me that he learned this the hard way when he came here, which is pretty funny. As for the economy, it has been poor in the past due to natural disasters, but now is one of the top industrial economies down there. Industry, it's been the top industrialized country in Central America due to major exports of coffee and cotton, according to Christian. And they've also created new sectors in the past 3 years to generate more cash flow for the economy. Unquestionably, El Salvador is an interesting country to say the least. In summary, El Salvador's beautiful geography, diversified culture, and up-and-coming economy make it a very fascinating country. I hope by my speech today I can enlighten you and familiarize you with the country of El Salvador.